Much of the nation's focus is rightfully on the Omicron variant right now, and there is new CDC numbers showing that the most vulnerable are not getting the protection that they need. Only about half of nursing home residents have received a booster dose. Less than a quarter of nursing home staff have received the same, a booster. And since the start of the pandemic, nursing home residents have been the most at risk, accounting for nearly 1 in 5 COVID deaths. So how can this be? Joining me now is Mark Parkinson, President and CEO of American Healthcare Association and National Center for Assisted Living. It represents an organization that represents over 14,000 assisted living facilities. Mark, thank you for coming back on. How can this be, this data that I just laid out? Why aren't more people in nursing homes and the staff that are caring for them getting booster shots?
Well, Kate, you're right. We need to do better, and we will. The good news is that we've spent most of this year trying to encourage people to get the regular vaccine. We encountered much more vaccine hesitancy than we ever thought we would, but by working hard, we've been able to get the staff vaccination rate to almost 80% and the resident vaccination rate to almost 90%. Now we have to turn our attention to the boosters, and we've done that, and it's also starting to work. Just a few weeks ago, the vaccine rate for residents was around the same 20% that it is in the general population. We now have 55% of the residents with the booster. It is our #1 priority, and we're not going to stop until we get to that 90% level that we've been able to achieve with the regular vaccine. It is absolutely critical to get the booster, whether you're in a nursing home, an assisted living facility, or just a resident in the general population. It's the only way we're going to get through this.
You know, Mark, more broadly, how concerned are you about this Omicron variant compared to the level of your concern already, which was high, about nursing home residents with the other variants?
Well, I'm extremely concerned. I mean, the data speaks for itself. It is highly contagious, doubling in the UK, doubling in South Africa every 2 or 3 days. The silver lining appears to be that the cases are milder, but we don't have enough data yet to definitively say that. And we certainly don't know if it's milder among our residents. The average age of a nursing home resident is 83. Our residents have a lot of frailties, so we're extremely concerned about it. We're going to know a lot more in the next 2 or 3 weeks, but we are on high alert right now.
If you have so many people who are still so vulnerable in nursing homes and assisted living facilities, we know, of course, that one way to try to make sure that they are protected is to use rapid tests or more rapid testing before anyone would come in to interact with them or interface with them or even care for them. Is rapid testing happening amongst assisted living facilities? What is the level of availability there? Because we know this is a focus of the president's today, and we know that there isn't enough testing available in the general population.
Yeah, well, fortunately, in skilled nursing facilities and assisted living buildings, we now have most of what we need. The government has been really good at providing us testing. We now have the personal protective equipment that we didn't have all throughout 2020. So we're really in pretty good shape. I mean, if you think about this at a very high level, when we sat here a year ago, exactly this week in December a year ago, we were at the absolute worst of the pandemic in nursing homes. Over 30,000 residents getting infected, over 6,000 dying in a single week. As we sit here today, 1 year later, cases are down over 85%, deaths are down over 90%, and nursing homes have become a safe place for older people to be. And that's because residents, families, staff members, providers, the government, and media people like you that have drawn attention to this matter have pulled together and gotten us to where we're at right now. It's not over. We're tired. A lot of people are burnt out, but we just have to stick together, because if we do, I think just fight this a little bit longer, we'll be able to put this nightmare behind us.
Yeah, it's one place that you can't give up, and that is for sure not what you are definitely not doing. Thank you so much, Mark, for being here. I appreciate it. So sports league.